Hi guys, it has been a while. I think it's been a couple of months since I last recorded. And as always, I say that it's going to be, I'm going to record more frequently, but I don't. Such is life, right? But the main reason why I wasn't really recording is because I called myself being a monogamous stitcher for the past couple of months. Like I worked on Peacocks and Posies. I swear I worked on that for a month, maybe 2 months. Then I switched over to blue Moroccan lace for like a week. Then I went back to Peacocks and Posies, and it felt like I was just working on one project. So I didn't feel like I had that much to show. But then I worked on, excuse me, my nose is itching. I worked on Tribal Monkey, and I felt like I was working on that for a long time. So my BFF, you know who you are, hi, she was asking me to record a video. So here we are. And when I finally put my stuff together to record a video, I worked on a lot more than I thought I did. Bits and pieces of projects, a couple of new starts, but clearly a lot more than I had originally thought that I had worked on. So I do have a few things to show. So where do I start? The retreat. There's a retreat coming up in New Jersey. I'm very excited about it. That's coming up in May. So I'm very excited about going there and meeting everyone. Really looking forward to that. I'm looking around because I'm recording in a different location, and we may or may not have visitors in this video. I'm just saying. So I'm just going to kind of jump in. I had notes that I wrote down, and of course I don't have them with me. So just going to show you what I got. So I am surrounded by all my projects. I have some things to show. I have WIPs, of course. I have a little bit of haul, but apparently I have been showing mad love to our fellow stitchers who make project bags, so I kind of want to show those as well. Actually, a couple of racks. So I'll show that, and we're just going to jump in because right now I'm rambling and I don't have my notes, so I'm flying blindly here. So the first one I'm going to show is blue Moroccan lace. I don't know if I'm going to be editing this video because I'm recording on my laptop and not on my camcorder, which is what I usually use to do my edits. So I'm not used to editing on Movie Maker, so I may or may not be editing. So if I say I'll insert a picture here and I don't, sorry. So this is my progress on blue Moroccan lace. As you can see, I've started working out toward the right-hand side on the screen, probably left-hand side in my world, I'll say. So this gold that you see here, that is the outermost point of this mandala, and of course it'll be repeated on the top, the bottom, and on the other side. So as you can see here, I have the gold outline, and I'm starting to fill in all of that negative space with the blue. My last video, the last chatelaine experience update, I was talking about my Jessica stitches, and I kept seeing different variations of the Jessica stitch, and I thought I was doing it wrong. And I started to panic a little bit, like, what am I doing wrong? Come to find out there are many different variations of the Jessica stitch. So if any of you are stitching chatelaines and you see that your stitches, specialty stitches, might look a little bit different, I am coming to learn that Martina gives specific directions for her pieces, for her patterns. So for example, somebody posted on Stitch Mania the other day, they posted a demonstration of doing French knots with metallic some type of metallic thread they were using. I don't want to assume it was treasure braid, but it was a very delicate and small French knot, and she only wrapped the thread around the needle one time, and I normally wrap it around twice when I do French knots. So, excuse me, so I asked her, knowing that Martina sometimes gives specific directions for specific specialty stitches, I asked her, did the directions advise to only wrap it once, because I normally wrap it twice? And she said, yeah, so do I normally wrap it twice, but this is what Martina said to do. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're working on chatelaines and you see things within your chatelaine that might be different. If you look at a YouTube tutorial, or if you look at other pictures online like I do, just to kind of look up different ways to do specialty stitches to kind of find your own niche. Her instructions are a little bit different sometimes, and they're specific to that pattern. So it's not necessarily, if you see that it's different, it's just that it's different. It's not necessarily wrong. So keep that in mind, because that was something that was troubling me when I was doing my Jessica stitches. The next one is my tribal monkey. This is by YIOTA Cross Stitch, and that's YIOTAXstitch.com. And I'm doing this on Antique Violet by XG Designs. So I'm working out toward his ear here, but I've gotten quite a bit done. For all intents and purposes, this is a full coverage piece. It's just got a very specific shape, but yeah, it's pretty much a full coverage piece, so it's taking a lot longer than I thought. The one thing that I did realize about this is that every single thing that I'm doing here, I'm going to have to repeat it on the other side. Because what you see here is, can I do this? I don't think I can point to it, so I'll just kind of work my way down. Where you see the pink and the black at the very top, that's the top of his head, or shall I say the top of, I don't know what you would call it, a crown? That's the top of the monkey's head. And then as you work your way down to the orange part with the circles in it, looks like the stars in the middle, those are right above his eyes, so maybe his eyebrows. So you can see it's still quite a ways to go. This is 28 count, which is equivalent, of course, to 14 count, so it's going to be pretty big. What I would like to do, hey Bella Butt, what I would like to do when this is done, because it's going to be so large, I'm not sure that I want to frame it. I'm really not sure. I might. But one of the ideas I had was having it made into a large tote bag. Maybe have So Much to Love, or even Ever Totes. Caroline, can you do such a thing? Let me know. Because you know I'd love to give you my business if you can do that. Have this made into a large tote bag with handles so I can use it and love it all the time. So maybe. Maybe. So those are my thoughts with that. That's where my heart is going with that, is putting it in a tote bag, but I might frame it. I don't know. But it's definitely something that I would have to commission somebody to do, because it would be a mess if I did it. Bella's here. Bella, you want to say hi? Come here. Come on. Come on. It's like she knows she's going to be on camera, so she's acting funny. Hey guys. Oh God, say hi to Bella. Say hi, Bella. Yeah. Say hi, Bella. Say hi. This is the infamous Bella. Right? Say hi. The Bella Butt. So she will probably make another appearance. Of course, now because she's all excited, she's probably going to howl or do something embarrassing, and it's okay. The next piece, this is kind of like a travel piece. I might work on it like in the car, or I'm covered in hair now. I might work on it in the car, or when I'm traveling, because it's small and it only has like 4 colors to it. But this is not something that is normally my style. Here comes Frankie. This is something that's not normally my style. Hey Frankie, Frankie. I told you we're going to have visitors today because I'm in a different location and they're surrounding me. This is something that's not normally how many times am I going to say that? I don't normally stitch religious or seasonal pieces, but this is something that I started with someone in mind, so this is going to be gifted, but I just want to show my progress. And of course I don't remember who it's by, but I will link it below. It's called The Names of Jesus. I will put the link below because unfortunately I can't remember who it's by. I can't remember. I'm sorry. This is The Names of Jesus. This is my progress. So it's basically just that. It's all the names of Jesus. So far we have Messiah, the Way, Redeemer, Jehovah, and that big H is where it's going to say his name is Jesus. And right there I've started Prince of Peace. And these are being done in the Sulky Petites, except for the, I want to say the mulberry colors, the mulberry, that dark purple, that is Cinders by Gentle Art Samplers. But the chartreuse green, the multicolored, the variegated thread where it says The Way and where it says Redeemer in that gold coppery color, those are all Sulky Petites 12 weight. Am I saying that right? Sulky Petite 12 weight. I'm gonna go with that. You guys know what I mean. One thread. With the Cinders I'm using 2, and I think this is 36 count. Pretty sure this is 36 count linen. That's my progress on that. And I'm showing that simply because I had it upstairs. It's normally in the car. So, no, Frankie's hanging out. Hey, Frankie Winky. Next up is Peacocks and Posies. So this is Peacocks and Posies by Rosewood Manor. This is how far I've gotten on it. This is on 40 count Spicy Carrot by XJU Designs. And I'm almost at the halfway mark. These are being done in a combination of Sulky Petite, 12 weight, and dingy dyes from the Oops packs. So the emerald green, the purple, the chartreuse, and that cornflower blue, those are all Sulky Petites, 1 strand. And then the variegated yellow and green, and the variegated blues and purples, those are Mardi Gras and Frio from the Dingy Dyes Oops packs. I hope you guys saw that because I didn't see what I was showing. I couldn't see it. So that's my update on Peacocks and Posies. I was hardcore working on this. Working on this hardcore, should I say, for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months. No, maybe about a month straight. Except for 1 week. I did like a month and some change, but I couldn't put it down because it's true what they say. I'm really not a sampler stitcher. Sorry about that. I'm really not a sampler stitcher, so that was one of my first experiences with stitching on a sampler type pattern, and it is absolutely true what they say. I think I've said this before. It's absolutely true what they say, that each little motif is like a finish, so it was very gratifying. So I just kind of kept going. Let me see. I'm trying to do this in some semblance of order. May or may not work out. The next one is, I haven't worked on this since, but the next one is the Prairie Schooler Alphabet. I told myself I was going to work on one of these per month. I think I started it, I think it was an, oh my gosh, it's been a while, hasn't it, guys? I think it was started as a stitch along with Emily and Olivia. And they were doing it based off of a stitch along somebody else started. I don't know. But I started, and I was going to just keep going until I finished the letter A. And then I stopped because it's what we do. But I'm stitching this 1/1 on 28 count. And this is how far I've gotten. I'm loving the detail in the letter A. I'm not the letter A. I'm loving the detail in the whole pattern. 1/1 on 28 count. It really wasn't bad stitching 1/1 on 28. I think there's a huge difference stitching 1/1 on an even weave versus on a linen for me. It's a lot easier on an even weave as opposed to doing 1/1 on linen like I've done for skin conversions. That's a bit of a nightmare. This was an absolute pleasure. So I think it has something to do with not struggling to find, I think it's something to do with the evenness of the fabric. It makes it a lot easier on my eyes. And initially I stitched this in all of the called for fabrics, including that threads, including that A, but the A was initially filled in with a dark brick red, the same dark brick red that's used as the rope around the anchor, and it completely blended in with that 3371, so you could barely even see the A. So I posted the pictures on Instagram and Stitch Mania, and I got a lot of suggestions on what to do. Use metallics, use a different color, and somebody said just take the color out and let the fabric show through. And they showed pictures, and I kind of loved it. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to fill in the letters. I'm going to let. Yeah, I think it just got, I think the camera just got stuck. But I'm just going to let the fabric highlight the letters and let that shine through. So that is the Prairie Schooler Alphabet by Prairie Schooler. So I don't know when I'm going to visit that again next. I thought my idea was to try to do one motif a month. I don't remember how long it took me to do that letter. I don't remember it taking that long. But I don't want to misspeak because I don't remember. But I don't remember it taking that long. But I remember it being a lot for stitching one a month. So maybe it took like a week and a half. And that was a lot for me to dedicate to that every single month. Maybe it was 2 weeks. So I haven't picked it up since. But I will. I just haven't. What's up next? This one is one of the many. You might hear Caroline's name a lot in this video. Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts. She has, she's a fairly new YouTuber. I love, love, love watching her videos. She has patterns, like she has reached into the recesses of my mind and picked out every possible pattern that I would ever want to buy or stitch. Her taste is so similar to mine when it comes to stitching. So it seems like whenever I watch one of her videos, I almost have to like brace myself when she holds up, you know, something new or holds up a new pattern, because I'm like, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. But sometimes I do. Case in point, Shades of Blue by Northern Expressions Needleworks. I think I talked about this in my last video, so forgive me if I'm Needleworks. I think I talked about this in my last video, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. But what got me about this pattern, if you'll remember, like a long time ago, I held up the infamous Afghan where I was going to stitch all these Delft blue tiles on the Afghan. And I got the patterns. I was inspired to motivated to get the patterns based off of what Nordley showed on her video. Do you remember her? God, God, I miss her videos. I really liked her. But she was showing these Delft blue patterns, and I went out and I found them, and I decided I was going to stitch them all on a napkin. And then, of course, that didn't happen. And then I got like the 2016 calendar. I don't remember who made the calendar, but it had this Delft blue picture on it, like milk pitcher, water pitcher, and I wanted to stitch that. I just bought some Delft blue patterns off of Stash Unload. So apparently, and I didn't bring them down, next video. So apparently I have a thing for Delft blue type patterns, right? Designs rather. So Caroline shows her shades of blue, and she's stitching it with the called for threads, Dinky Dyes silks. And when she held hers up, I had no idea that that's what it looked like in real life, because we know the pictures look nothing like the actual stitched product. But when she held hers up, like, I gasped, I clutched my pearls, all of that, and I knew I had to stitch it. I think I paused her video and immediately ordered it. And then this is what I've done. That's it. That's it. So, oh, I'm not showing you anything. That's it so far. But this is being stitched, I think, on 36 count white linen, because that's how I thought it looked best. And these are the three colors: Dinky Dyes Sapphire. Yes, I do wind my silk on bobbins. Dinky Dyes Dreamtime. And Dinky Dyes Midnight. So this is all being stitched 1 over, did I say 1 over 1? I don't know what I said. It's 1 over 2. 1 strand over 2 on 36 count, I believe. I'm not sure. But look, I have the handy dandy tag. It's 36 count white Edinburgh. And that's on a fat quarter. So it's 1 over 2. What else have I got here? I think I may or may not be done with WIPs, but oh no, I'm not. So here was, I'm not going in any particular order, I'm just kind of picking stuff up. This was a wonderful rack that I received, and I received this in the mail, I believe, when I came home from my father-in-law's funeral. I believe that's when I received this. This was a beautiful Momily bag that was gifted to me by the wonderful and talented Emily. Look at the fabric, guys. Look at the fabric. Isn't it something? Golly. So she saw the fabric and she thought of me, and she made me this absolutely beautiful Momily bag. And she just had her, she has a new page for Eclectic Possessions on Facebook. Last month she made like 31 Momily bags, and she said she was going to put them up for sale. They sold out in like 2 minutes. I mean, I think I bid on 3 of them, and I didn't get any of them. But I tried, Emily, I tried. But you know the beauty of this community. No, let me go back to Emily. I was so excited for her because I remember when she first started, when she first started getting project bags, you know, she fell down the So Much to Love rabbit hole, as we do, because they're fabulous bags, right? So she decided she was going to get together with, you know, her mom and learn how to make her own project bags. And at first it started out with her, you know, just learning how to make it or learning how to piece them together with her mom sewing. Then it branched out into her actually sewing the bags. And now she's at the point where she, you know, she went into making a whole bunch of bags and just sprinkling Stitchy kindness literally all over the world. Just, she's something else. She really is a special spirit. And she made all of these Momily bags, and she just randomly, you know, sent them out all all over the world. I mean, one of them went to Orietta in Italy. And I just thought it was such a beautiful gesture. And then she went from there to making these 31 bags and opening up her own Facebook page and selling them out in like 2 minutes. And I'm so proud of you, Emily. Seriously, that's very admirable. And I just think it's awesome. But this was my beautiful Emily bag, Momily bag. And I will cherish it and love it forever. So it has the beautiful brown, how would you describe that, leaf pattern, vines. It's a dark brown pattern, and on the inside it's this nice autumnal type print. It's beautiful. And inside of here, and I kept your card, Emily. She sent me a beautiful little handwritten card, and I just keep it right in the bag to think of her. I don't know why, but I bought on eBay, I bought like a whole bunch of Nymo thread because I went to bead, I think it was my last Mirabilia, and I tried beading with Nymo thread. And then with Erica Beadoo, the beaded project, the beaded African woman that I'm doing, I'm beading that all with Nymo thread, and now like I'll never go back. Nymo is, I love Nymo thread for beading. I love it, love it, love it. But I went on eBay and they had like 6 spools of it for $4. And I bought it, and it's in here for some reason. Anyway, so in here I bought this, I think I showed a picture of it online. This is the Thea Governor butterflies. Love butterflies, love stitching butterflies, love stitching fish, love stitching all those types of things. But fish, owls, butterflies, they're kind of my thing. And Thea Governor had a kit, so I got it. I think I showed this on Facebook and Instagram, but it came with 14 count Aida, which I don't have a problem with Aida at all, but I don't necessarily like 14 count, but it's what it came with. Or maybe it was 16 count. I think it was 16 count. Yeah, I think it was 16 count, because if it was 14, I probably would have switched it out. But it came with 16 count white Aida, and I decided I didn't want to stitch it on white. I wanted them to be on something that was a little more antique-y. So I hand dyed the Aida that it came with using the technique I showed in my video. I think Farm Girl, was it, also had a similar video. I didn't get to watch that video, but I heard a lot about her having a video where she used the dyeing technique as well. But this is a technique where you scrunch it up in the bowl. I don't know if that's what she showed. You scrunch it up in the bowl and you kind of splotch the dye in non-specific places. But I did a video showing how I did that. So I used that technique, and this was the outcome. You can see where I'm starting to grit it. But this was the outcome. So it's almost like a parchment. I hope that shows up okay. Let me double it over. Ooh. Double it over, maybe you'll see it a little better. Yeah, but it's like a parchment. Yeah, there you go. Kind of like that. So that's what I'm going to stitch the butterflies on. And all I've done was start to grid. Her patterns are a little bit different, Thea Governor. They're like multiple pages, and I don't know, it's a little bit different. Not in a bad way, just different than what I'm used to looking at when I get a kit. Obviously I can't show it to you, but that's my Momly bag, and that's what's hiding inside. Right, Bella? Bella's sitting here looking at me. I did bring down something else to show. I like to support stitchers when they make project bags or when they make anything that I can use for my own stitching. So McKenna, in one of her videos, she posted this beautiful Frida Kahlo fabric project bag with a hot pink faux suede liner. So I went on her Amazon store and I purchased it. And it's an envelope bag. And this is the interior. It's like a faux suede. And I love it. Love it. And inside is an oldie but goodie that I pulled out, I think, for like 3 days. 3 days. And worked on it. But I'll show it simply because it's here, and why not? This is my Fractal by Cross Stitch Collectibles. Fractal number 234. Very colorful. Very colorful. So that's that. I don't know when I'll work on the last time I worked on this fractal, it's like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. It's not a UFO, but it's kind of, oh my gosh, it's kind of abandoned, neglected, whatever. In my last video I talked about the beautiful project bag kit that Jan from Jan Stitch and Necessities on Facebook made for me with the fabric that I sent her. And I did ask her to also make me a project bag for my scroll bars. So this project bag would fit either my Millennium frame scroll bars or the Quantum frame scroll bars. I think it's a 24-inch. 30-inch, the 30-inch ones, the standard size ones. So I asked her to make me a project bag, and I just kind of randomly picked a fabric that she had in her stash, because you have the option to either choose her fabric or send her your own fabric of your choice. And I just wanted to choose her fabric because it was easier. And I chose something, of course, with owls. And she made me this beautiful project bag. And this is from, it still has the card on it, Jan Stitch and Necessities. She is on Facebook. She's fabulous. So up next, so what's in here? So up next, I think this is the final, no, it's not the final WIP I have to show. This is what I'm working on right now. I haven't posted any pictures on Instagram or Facebook yet, just kind of working on it. So this is the first time that I'm showing it, but I have in fact shown the picture of the kit. So there's a little bit of, not a story behind this kit, but I was looking on, I don't remember what website I was on. I honestly don't remember what website I was on, but it led me to, there was a link, get away from that. There was a link showing where you could look at new designs or new kits that came out from Designworks, whatever their newest kits were. So I clicked on this link. I don't normally get Designworks kits. I think I have one, and I didn't finish it. I might put it on Adopt a WIP, because I'm not going to finish it. But I clicked on the link, and the first pattern that pops up, kit that pops up, was this pattern called the Embrace. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's colorful. And then I looked at it again, and when I realized what I was looking at, it literally took my breath away. So this is, I'm going to take it out, the Embrace. Designed by Marianne Savage. This is a Designworks kit, but if you look at it, you see the woman, obviously. Do you see in the negative space, there is a man, or the shape of a man, or maybe it's a woman, I don't know. But it's somebody hugging her that's simply not there. He's not there, but he's hugging her. I had to do it. I had to do it. So my thought was, because I instantly, oh my gosh, I instantly thought of my dad, and it took my breath away. And it was such a thoughtful pattern, and I have to wonder, was this what she had in mind when she designed this? You know, was she thinking about designing this for, you know, somebody that lost somebody in some way, be it death, be it divorce, breakup, whatever the case may be? Is that what she was thinking of? But I posted this on Facebook, and I kind of, you know, said that, you know, it took my breath away. It literally made my eyes water. It just touched me so much. And it was interesting to see all the comments. And, you know, one guy, I think his name was Scott, he was asking, was there another pattern? Just hold this up so you can look at it. Was there another pattern with maybe a man hugging the shape of a woman? And I actually reached out to Designworks, and I asked if there was a companion piece where, you know, there was a gender reversal. Was there one with a man hugging the woman? And they said, no, not at this time, but they would send that feedback to the designer. So maybe, Scott, you never know. I hope they do that. Then somebody else was talking about how this piece spoke to her, and how the shape of the person represented like the emotional struggles that she has, where all she wants to do is, you know, just find peace in her heart. And that's what made her think of this. And I just loved it. I just loved it. I loved reading how it touched different people and what they thought of it. And it's so simple, but it's, oh my gosh, I love it. So my plan was, it came with a piece of 14 count Aida, and I didn't want to stitch it on 14 count Aida. I wanted to stitch it on a higher count fabric so it would be a little bit more detailed. And I also wanted it to be a hand dyed fabric, and I was thinking maybe I could find a fabric that was closer to my dad's skin tone. He was very much my complexion, actually not much lighter, but he was lighter than me, lighter complexion than me. So that when I looked at the fabrics that I had that were that tannish beigeish sort of color, I didn't like how the floss looked on them. So I decided to go with a richer fabric, a richer tone that I had, and that was Rusty Brown by XG Designs, and I just thought that the colors really popped on it. And also what I want to do, I'm still on the fence if I want to do her face one over one. I may or may not save her face for last, but I wanted her face, as you can see, she's a Caucasian woman, and I wanted to definitely stitch her skin tone similar to mine, because to me this would be me hugging my dad. So of course I want her face to be similar to my skin tone. So I am going to convert that, and once I figure out what my colors are going to be for the conversion, I will do a video showing exactly what the original threads look like versus the threads that I chose and how I chose them. I recently binge watched Drew, and I'm going to show my progress in a second. Drew and Phil from Weasley Studios, love them. But I recently was binge watching their videos, catching up, because I've been so behind on Flosstube. And I got to the video where Drew said that he was going to stitch all of the memorabilias as black women. I was fascinated because, you know, I started talking about last year or so, or a couple of years ago, where I wanted to stitch all of my memorabilias and have like a rainbow coalition of memorabilias just to add, you know, different ethnicities and different cultures to the memorabilia patterns. So not necessarily to her patterns, but to my collection of stitched memorabilias, I'll say. Michelle Bendy Stitchy, she talked about wanting to do the same thing with Andromeda. Love that, Michelle, love that. But that's what she wanted to do, but she ended up stitching her as designed. But she was saying that she wanted to also, you know, convert some of her memorabilia so she could show her daughter that there was more to stitching than just, you know, one type of ethnicity that was in the memorabilia pattern. So I love to hear that so many people are celebrating, you know, the richness and beauty of all these different cultures. I absolutely love it. Not cultures, but ethnicities, should I say. So that being said, I just kind of went down a rabbit hole again. I'm going to, for those of you that are interested in understanding how I convert, or the methodology that I use to do a skin conversion, I'll record that. And they're really, I don't know if it's the right way or not. It's what I do. It's what I did for At the Met. In the same process that I would use for any time I convert a skin color. For the Raven Queen, even though I made her Asian, I didn't convert her skin tone because it was appropriate, but I just did something different with her hair and her eyes just to make her look a little more Asian, but I didn't convert her skin. But anyway, just went down a deep rabbit hole, just off the trail a bit. Here is my progress. I'm gonna put something behind it. Here's my progress on the embrace. So this is on Rusty Brown by XG Designs, and as you can see, that's the side of her hair with the flower. You can see where I'm at. So that's where I am. I've been stitching on this since last Friday, so about a week. I haven't posted any pictures of it. I've kind of been stitching on it and just having a moment with it to myself, you know what I mean? Yeah, I've just been enjoying it, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. But it's taking a lot longer than I thought it would. And this is the same song we all sing, you know, we look at these patterns like, oh, I'm gonna knock that out in a week. I'm so not gonna knock that out in a week. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep going on it monogamously. I'm gonna keep going on it until I stop. But there are certain patterns that are calling out, certain designs that are calling my name right now, but I kind of want to just keep going with that. And I would love to have that done by January 3rd. January 3rd is the anniversary of Daddy's passing, so I would love to have that done and have that up and think of him. But I don't want to put a timeline on it. That would be nice, but there's definitely no timeline on it. It's not the type of piece I want to put a deadline on, you know what I mean? But that would be nice, wouldn't it? So that's that. The last WIP I have to show, it's courtesy of my dear friend Caroline, and this kind of leads into, I guess, not my haul. Well, I guess it's haul. The project bag parade. That's what that's going to lead into. So, on one of Caroline's last videos, she talked about the Landmark Tapestries series, and she was stitching Kazakh, I think it was. Am I saying that right? Kazakh. And that was the version that she was stitching. She said that she stitched 5 of them, that she had 5 of the pattern, or she stitched, I'm going to say this wrong, Caroline, I'm sorry, that she got 5 of the patterns in each of the colorways that she wanted to stitch for her kids. So each of the kids would have 5 of the patterns that she would pass on to them. 5 of the designs, rather, in different colorways. So she was showing her progress on Kazakh. And when she held up her work in progress, it was like time stopped. You know, I have a love for geometric, for anything that's abstract, for anything that looks cultural in any type of way. Like, when she held that up, I had to find it. Not only did I have to find it, I searched for it for this landmark tapestry series. And I finally found a place in California because I was about to order it from Caroline's local needlework shop, which is in Canada, Thread and I was about to go there and order it from them, but I found it in California from a shop called CelticStitchery.com online. And she had all of the patterns. There were 12 of them in all, and I'm going to explain this to you. There were 12 of them in all, and I wanted them all because I knew I would absolutely, when I show them to you, if you know anything about my stitching style, you know my stitching aesthetic, you know why I would love these. I wanted every last one of them, and I ordered them. And she contacted me and she said, I just want to make sure that you understand, even though there's 12 different patterns, there are 6 designs that are just done in 2 different colorways. So if you want to do all 12 of them in those colorways and you want the information for those colorways, you can get all 12 patterns, but just understand it's just switching up the colors. So I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to do that, because I didn't realize that they were the same exact design, because they look so different with the different colorways. Arlene talked about that in her video. She showed some of the work that she did, which was repeating the same pattern or the same design, but you couldn't tell because the colorways made it look so different. That's what happened here. They just looked so different. So I said, no, I didn't want to do that. And she proactively offered me the refund for the other 6, which I thought was great. So she refunded me. I got the 6. And she sent them to me. So I started with, well, this is what it looks like. I think I should take it out so you can really see the beauty of the design. About to get a paper cut. And again, this is all Caroline's fault. This is all her fault. Like 150% her fault. So this is what the chart looks like. Landmark tapestries and charts. So the one I'm showing to you is Shatak. And this is the pattern here. But if you see at the bottom, these are the 12 patterns. So you see it says TP1 through TP12. If you really look at them, you see how different they look, but it's just different colorways. That's all. So you have the option to either get the 6 and convert it yourself, or you can get all 12 and use the directions that they give you. It's up to you. But you can see, if you know anything about my stitching aesthetic, you can see why I would love these. And I do. So I received this, and I started with Arjesh. Wait a minute. Let me put this, talk amongst yourselves. I just want to put this back in so I don't crinkle it. So these are the patterns in no particular order. This is Arjesh. That's the one I started with. Kali. Sassoon, not to be confused with Vidal. Kazak, this is the one that Caroline is stitching. Moosh. And Shatak. This is the one I just showed. And this is my progress. I am stitching the, I decided I wanted them all on one piece, side by side, so it's like one huge tapestry. This is my start, my meager beginning. Oh no, Josh. And that's on 1/1 on 25 count. Hey, Frankie Winky. Frankie may or may not be about to pay us a visit. So, speaking of Caroline, Off the Grid Needle Arts. So, she has a small business with her sister-in-law where they make project bags. They make project bags for cross stitch, project bags for knitting. It's called Totes on Etsy, and I'll put the link below. And I have developed a problem with Totes. Ginger Gerald Stitcher just talked about the project bags. He got one, I think he got the large tote with the geese on it. Get off of my projects. What is wrong with you? They're so disrespectful. But anyway, sorry. Ginger Gerald Stitcher. He just showed the project bag that he got from Totes, and it has geese flying on it, and he was commenting on how wonderful the bag is and how well made it is. Guys, he's not lying. He's not lying, and I know he's not lying because apparently I'm somewhat of an expert on Totes bags. I love them. I love them. So the first one that I ordered is this Wedge Tote. This is a Wedge Tote. This bag, I ordered it, you see why I ordered it, because of the fish. Oh my gosh, the fish. So as soon as she saw that, as soon as I saw this, I think she showed it in a video. I was actually coming back from Virginia Beach. I was in the car. I wasn't driving, my husband was driving. But I was in the car watching Flosstube. And she showed this, and I immediately went to her store because I loved the fish pattern. And I said, I'm looking on, and then I sent her a message because when I went on her store, I couldn't find it. And I said, did it sell out already? And she actually had it packed up to go to a knitting show. And she went and she got it, and she sold it to me. So this is the Wedge Tote. She has different styles. But she talked about the Wedge Tote in her last video and how much it holds. And it does hold quite a bit. It's very deep and it's got the wide bottom. So you can pack quite a bit into this little bag. And all of them have this little tag on the side. I absolutely love how they do their fabric coordination. Like the fish pattern with the scalloped black and white. And then the gray and white polka dot, and then on the inside it has like a gray and white scallop pattern. But these bags are just so beautifully made. I absolutely love them. So what is this holding right now? This is holding a peacock pattern I found off of Etsy. It's not much, but I'll show it to you. It's not much of a start, but it's in here. Along with a bunch of fabric that I bought and this itty bitty hoop. Why am I showing this to you? Anyway, and it came with this little accessory pouch. So, and that holds my thread for that peacock. But this is her. Caroline and Kathleen Tote on Etsy. and I'll put the link below. And with this, she sent me a little, she always sends a little something, and it's always perfect. But with this one, she sent the remainder of the floss that she used for her ink circles, that fabulous finish that she just had. She sent me the remainder of that floss, and it's a silk floss, handdyedfibers.com, Marquis de Cirque. I don't know. I don't speak French. If it were Spanish, I could do it. Marquis de Cirque. I don't know. Forgive me. I just jacked that up. I'm embarrassed. So there you go. That's what I was trying to say. I'm so embarrassed. I don't know what I just said. There you go. So she sent me the remainder of it, what she had left from her ink circles. So whatever I stitch with that, Caroline, I'm going to think of you, but actually I know where I'm going to put that. So I'm going to tell you guys in a minute. So that was that. The next one I got, and this is actually my first ever Halloween type project bag. Because like I said, I don't really stitch religious or seasonal anything. It's not my jam. Oh, I'm wondering what this floss is. These are the flosses for the Landmark series. So that'll be for everything. So the next one that I bought, she posted on Etsy. I'm lying. She posted it on Instagram, and it was on sale, and I can't resist the sale. So I purchased this one, which has these sassy little ghosts on it. It says spooky, and it says boo, and they're just sassy little ghosts, and I thought it was so cute with the black bottom. So this is, I'm gonna call it the standard project bag. I don't know if that's what Totes calls it, but to me this is a standard like cross stitch bag. So this will hold like an 8x11 frame, but I never, Q-snap frame, but I never put my frames in here. I always take it off the Q-snap and fold it up, but it holds all of these patterns, like all of my all of my Landmark tapestries. They all go in here along with that huge piece of fabric. They all fit in there, all the fabric, all of my patterns just slid across the floor. Just all of them just slid across the floor. All of the floss, and then that came with a cute little accessory bag too. I mean, it's stupid cute. And then it has these nice fall leaves patterns inside. And it's got the little Tote thing there. Tote. www.evertote.com, and on Etsy. I'm showing you the Canada flag. There you go. Now this is funny. Like I told you, she sends me a little something. Just a little something to add. So she just finished recently her Turtles by Ink Circles. And she showed this in one of her videos. She passed her stash to me and sent me the pattern that she used. The funny story behind this is literally just 2 days prior to that. I was on 123 Stitch, and they were having a sale on Ink Circles patterns. And the turtles, I have always loved these turtles, and I was so close to putting it in my basket, in my cart, but instead I got Dragons of Sumatra and what's it called? Cirque de Carew, the one that Ingeborg just finished. Cirque de Carew. You know what I'm talking about, right? I got those two instead, but the turtles I was so close to putting in my cart. And then 2 days later, I get my project bag and she has this in here. How cool is that? So that leftover silk that she sent me from her Cirque de Circles, I'm going to stop butchering the French language now. I'm going to use that in these turtles. So that's where that's going to go. And then finally, because like I said, I'm a fan of Evertotes. This one she had on sale last week on Instagram. And I was sucked in because it has little animals. It has lions. It has bears. I think it's a cheetah or a leopard or something with stripes. I don't know. But they have on Christmas sweaters, little warm sweaters and scarves. And it's just too much. It was too much for me to leave it. I couldn't stand it. They were little beasts in their little sweaters with leaves falling on them in autumnal colors. Hey guys, I got cut off. So apparently I reached my maximum. I don't know. It's been a long time since I recorded on my laptop. So anyway, I was talking about this bag, and this was on sale, and that was the interior I was showing that I think I was showing before I got cut off. And this came with a little project bag too, or a little accessory bag. Okay. I do believe that was it for the project bag parade. So I guess if we're going to spend all this money on cross stitch, we should also invest in protecting it, right? That's my justification for the day, guys. Yeah. So haul. As far as haul goes, I think most of my haul was in project bags, to be honest. But I did order this pattern, Birds of a Feather from Papillon Creations, because what would a Crafty Curator update be without a peacock parade? There's always a peacock in it, right? So I've seen this pattern many times on 1, 2, 3 Stitch, and I look at it and I look at it, and I finally bit the bullet and got it. What shocked me about this pattern was I was shocked at how much sparkle and bling was put into this pattern. I didn't know that it had beads and cry neck and all of these other fixings, but I'm just going to show you the bottom. Look at all that cry neck. Who knew? And beads. So those are all the fixings for that. I also got, oh my god, my dog just farted. Oh my gosh, Bella. Oh, it's awful. It's awful. It's so rude. Steampunk Sea Serpent. Somebody showed this on one of the Austin Retreat videos. And I had just received it, I think. But I thought it was funny because I never noticed this pattern before. And then it was funny to see that somebody else got it. So it's a funky little steampunk fish. Because I like to stitch fish, I had to get it, right? This I definitely want in a tote bag of some sort. Caroline, can you do that? Yeah, definitely want that on a tote bag. And here's the weeks that came with it. Oop. I'm not going to pull all those out. But it's called for Weeks Dye Works. And because of the nature of the pattern, and did it give a DMC conversion? No, it didn't. But when you look at the pattern, you kind of need the variegated floss, so I wouldn't have switched it out anyway. So the last thing, I think it's the last thing, guys. I think the last thing I want to show you is a rack that was sent to me. So I recently, or not so recently, I don't know, put on, what do you call it? Stitch Mania, that I was going to try Hardanger. And I wanted to try the freebie pattern that Ingeborg and Jen from Felicity Stitches worked on. It was a free pattern, and it was a Hardanger Along. I don't remember the name of the floss tuber that started it. Stitchbliss Corner. I think that was her. Am I lying? But anyway, I was watching their progress, and Jen's piece was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Ingeborg's piece was beautiful. Ingeborg took it a step further and started doing all of these little Hardanger pieces. So now she's like a Hardanger professional. And I was thinking about it. I was like, I really need to try to do this before I get any further on to Desiderata. I haven't worked on that, so the last thing I showed you was the last thing that was done. I was like, I really should work on practicing this before I get to Desiderata at the bottom, because I don't think that should be the place where I start to practice Hardanger on the actual project. So, why are you crying? What's wrong? Don't cry. It's okay. Hardanger. I forgot what I was talking about because the dog started whining. So I posted on Stitch Mania that that's what I was going to do. I was going to venture into that world, and you know, the normal speak about how scary it is to consider cutting fabric that you stitched on. Like, it's very intimidating. It is, but I know it's something that I can do. But I also know it's something that I need to practice as well. Very similar to people that are intimidated by starting chatelaines. I was too. Very much so. Like, I got my chatelaine, my first chatelaine, and I looked at it for 9 months because I was scared to start it. But just like anything that, you know, people master, it starts with trying and practice and failure and experimentation, and that's what I wanted to do. But anyway, I'm rambling. So I posted this on Stitch Mania, and because this community is the way it is, somebody reached out and they said they had a full-blown Hardanger kit. A full-blown Hardanger kit that they would be willing to gift to me because they're never going to stitch it. And it was so generous and so thoughtful. So she sent me the kit. This is what it looks like. It's Spring Butterflies Hardanger table linen. And it comes with the size 8 and size 12 pearl DMC, a bunch of beads, some regular, why is my dog crying? Bella butt, come here. What's wrong, Bookie? You feel abandoned? Come over. Come on. There you go. You're okay. Okay. Don't act stupid. Don't act stupid. You wanna say hi? Yeah. 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 You gonna fart again? This is my life. So anyway, this is the Hardanger kit that she sent me with the floss, the DMC, the beads, and the fabric. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So she said she had this kit and she'll send it to me so I can practice on that because she wouldn't use it. That's how wonderful this community is. Going back to the Momly bags, I saw something happen not once but twice. When the Momly bags sold out in like 2 minutes, I saw 2 people, get away from the project, Bella. I saw 2 people who I guess realized that there were so many people that didn't get project bags. 2 people, one of whom reached out to me directly, let go of one of the bags that they got. So if they ordered, if they bid on multiple bags and they won 2 or 3 bids, people were giving back Momly bags so other people could buy them. Like they gave up one of their bids, one of their bags, so other people could have a shot because they didn't want to be greedy. Their words, not mine, when I say didn't want to be greedy. and they gave them back so other people, the next in line, had an opportunity to get a Momly bag. And somebody reached out to me directly, and she said, I saw you bid on the same bag that I got. I already received one. I already purchased one. You can have this one if you want it, because, you know, I don't need to have them all. You know, you can have one if you want a Momly bag. And that's when I said to her, I said, actually, you know, I have one. I really have one. So I'm in the same boat that you are, you know, so if those are the two bags you wanted, enjoy them. But if it was a situation where she just no longer wanted the bag, I would have purchased it. But I just thought it was so amazing that the community wanted to share and make sure that everybody got to experience and you know, share in Emily's success. And it, you know, you guys are something else. Seriously. Seriously. It's just such a privilege to be a part of this community. And I think we're the only ones that understand like how awesome this is and how rewarding it is and how much fun it is. I think we're the only ones that understand. Maybe our spouses understand, you know, vicariously through us, and, you know, they see our joy and our passion with this hobby. But it's amazing, isn't it? I'm just, yeah. I'm just filled. I don't know how I got down that mushy rabbit hole. But anyway, I'm looking around because I think I have shown you, I have not shown you. There's one last thing. Somebody recommended in my desire to venture into the world of Hardanger, a couple of people actually said one of the things that you need to make sure you have are really good scissors. And I do have really good scissors. I have really good scissors, and then I have scissors that, you know, you just find on the end cap at Dollar General, which, by the way, I love those Dollar General embroidery scissors, and they don't sell them anymore, and they're kind of my favorites. But anyway, again, somebody recommended really good Hardanger scissors, really good scissors for doing the cut work, and somebody said to get Judy's Boo Boo Snips. That's actually what they're called. Judy's Boo Boo Snips on 123 Stitch, and I think they were like $8. But apparently these are really good scissors for Hardanger. Pretty sharp. I don't know how good they are, but I will tell you when I try them. And that was officially the last thing that I had to show you. And I think that's it. I think I've shown everything. Next video will be more organized. I had notes, I had shout outs, I had a list of things, but I don't have my notes with me. So I just kind of winged this and jumped in, and now I'm jumping out before I start rambling, which I know I will probably end up doing. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me on this beautiful November morning. Some of you I will see very soon at the retreat. Can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait for the shenanigans that will surely take place. And happy stitching, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.